To 11 Wishful Thinking, Does Less Than Me is 2-1, and it's a big jump to Lancetto, 10-1 from 12s. Imperial Shabra is 12-1, Finch Flyer 100s, and King Keel 200-1. They're coming out on track for the Shloer Chase.
Off and running here for the Shloer Chase. It's over 2 miles and no sprinter sacre, but still plenty of good action coming up here over these 13 fences. Imperial Shabra, the sheepskin noseband, Does Less Than Me in the beige jacket. Wishful Thinking almost went at the first fence. A dreadful mistake from the odds-on favourite. And to be honest, Richard Johnson did extremely well to maintain the partnership. Knocked him sideways there. Jumped better at the second. Slight mistake at the back by Lancetto, who was a little bit careful over the fence. So a little bit of early drama as they race then towards the third and fourth fences up the hill. It's Imperial Shabra, the leader, from Does Less Than Me. Bob of the heads between them. 3 lengths away, King Keel on his 105th Chase start in the red and yellow jacket. Wishful Thinking alongside him. Does Less Than Me made an error there. He got in very tight. At this stage at the back of the field, Finch Flyer and the cheek pieces and noseband racing together with Lancetto as the leaders go over the fourth fence. Finch Flyer a little bit fiddly at that. So at this stage it's been an uneasy start to the race. 4 fences taken care of the 13. They head on up the hill, and Does Less Than Me has been sent to the front now by Daryl Jacob. Leads by about a length to Imperial Shabra in second, with Wishful Thinking on the outside in third. King Keel next, and then Lancetto and Finch Flyer. And Does Less Than Me is striding on now as he heads off down the hill. Leads by about 3 lengths to Imperial Shabra. Wishful Thinking on the outside in the Waitley colours for Richard Johnson. Let's hope that's just woken him up, that early mistake, as they go to the downhill fence. Wasn't all that good at that, to be honest. King Keel took it in his own little way there. He's just passed in the air by Lancetto, and Finch Flyer already finding this a bit tough for him. Heading off towards the water jump now, and already we've almost got 2 races here for the price of 1, because the 3 leaders are going off now and leaving the other 3 behind. That's Does Less Than Me approaching the open ditch, leading from Wishful Thinking, the favourite on the outside, now getting into more of a rhythm. Imperial Shabra just left his hind legs behind it there in third. Mistake by Lancetto, who's about 10-12 lengths behind the 3 of them. And then King Keel and Finch Flyer. The last fence on this part of the course. Does Less Than Me wasn't too convincing over that, to be honest. Steals a peep over his shoulder, Daryl Jacob, and sees that Richard Johnson is moving up there on Wishful Thinking. And these 2 now begin to go clear of Imperial Shabra. Here's the open ditch approaching them now at the top of the hill. Does Less Than Me by about half a length. Wishful Thinking looming up. They're in the air together. Both took it very well. Imperial Shabra was very guessy at that, just dived at it, just watching Lancetto, Finch Flyer and King Keel get over it. King Keel now tailing off in last place. So the big duel is on between the 2 market leaders. Wishful Thinking in the blue jacket, just taking over now from Does Less Than Me in the beige colours for Daryl Jacob, as they spin down the hill now towards the third last here in the Shloer Chase. Wishful Thinking now striding on by a couple of lengths to Does Less Than Me in second. Imperial Shabra is about 10 away back in third. Coming towards the third last now. Wishful Thinking up to it. It's hit it slightly. He's over it okay, though. Does Less Than Me is chasing him. He's got 2.5 lengths to find on Wishful Thinking. Quite a way before they get to the second last. Imperial Shabra 15 away back in third. Similar gap to Lancetto, Finch Flyer, and King Keel is jumping to third last now. So they're turning towards the home straight. Richard Johnson cruising along here on Wishful Thinking, leads by a couple of lengths. Just ask him now to pick up and go and win his race. 2 more fences to take in the Shloer Chase. Does Less Than Me now being asked to try and pick up the leader. Great jump by Wishful Thinking. Not so good by Does Less Than Me in second. And now the favourite begins to stride clear. The final fence coming up now for Wishful Thinking. Oh, he put in a great one when it mattered, and that puts the race to bed quite easily in the end. Wishful Thinking gave his followers a real scare at the first fence, but driven out towards the line. It's good to see him back in the winner's enclosure. He's had his problems, but he's very, very talented, and he wins the Shloer Chase easily. For Richard Johnson, the Waitleys and Philip Hobbs. Second is Does Less Than Me. Imperial Shabra ran on quite well for third, followed by Lancetto. And then come Finch Flyer, who's just passed the last fence there, and King Keel, who's battling away in last place.
Well, an easy winner, wishful thinking, as you would expect from an 8 to 11 favourite. Richard Johnson and Philip Hobbs teaming up, but the detail of the race is not so positive. He met the first fence side on. He wasn't fluent at a number of jumps, but he did get the last and the second last when in front, absolutely right. Second was Does Less Than Me. He was the only one to try to put a fight to the winner. Dal Jacob and Paul Nicholls teaming up. That horse wasn't fluent 2 out, and he was already beaten at that point. And third was Imperial Shabra, who was still soon shaken off by the two main contenders.